Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life Out Loud. I'm Junie Moon, your host, and I'm thrilled you're here. Great show ahead today. I'm so excited. Before I introduce you to my guest, though, I want to just give you a little peek into who I am, what I do, and why I created this show. So I am a transformational coach and a shadow work facilitator. And my mission is to help people like you soar in your life, to get out of your own way and to live a fully expressed life for you and for the world. And I work with individuals, I work with groups, and I travel around the country doing workshops. So if you're interested in finding out more about the work I do, or would like me to come in and do something in your area, you can go to innercritictamer.com, and you can even pick up my free ebook, How to Tame Your Inner Critic, there, and help you get out of your way. And so because my mission is about helping you soar and to have a fully expressed life, I created this platform, Life Out Loud, because I wanted, well, frankly, I wanted to hobnob with some of the greatest leaders of our time, and I pick and choose carefully. I want people that are the pioneers, people that are really walking their talk and making a difference, inspirational leaders, wise, transformational people. And I know you will not be disappointed with the person I have today. Gosh. Sara Jane, she is such a light. She's across the pond from us. There's some people across the pond watching today, but she is from the UK, and I want to read you a little bit about who she is. So Sara is the master of voice and sound Reiki, the founder of Gift of Healing TV, and an international speaker and author. She's based in, I should have asked her how to say this, Bournemouth, I hope that's right, Bournemouth on the south coast of England, where she runs her own therapy practice. Sara is a master teacher and practitioner of Reiki and sound Reiki, also running workshops to help you connect with your inner child. She draws on her own life experiences and own healing journey to support those that attend her practice, courses, and workshops. Sara comes from a varied background, having worked in retail, office, and public house management, as well as insurance. A fun fact, which I have to tell you, this was a really fun fact, and I so look forward to chatting with you about this, Sara. A fun fact is that she has been a trainee handler with the wolves at the UK Wolf Conservation Trust and felt honored to interact with these amazing creatures. I mean, how friggin' cool is that? Totally cool. So for more information about Sara Jane and her work, you can go to her website, thespiritoflove.com, and she'll be telling you more about her work and how to reach her later as well. And she has a really juicy special offering for you that she will let you know about later. But meanwhile, let's find out who she is and welcome her. So hey, Sara Jane, welcome.
Oh, Julie, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for that. It's really appreciated. It's a real pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm thrilled that you're here. I was actually on Sara's show, The Gift of Healing, recently. She's got a really amazing show. She's got such wonderful people that come on it. She's a great interviewer. So definitely check out The Gift of Healing. You could find the link of her show as well on Life Out Loud with JunieMoon.com. But anyway, enough of that. Let's find out about her. So Sara, Sara, tell us about who you are, and not just the who you are now, but like your journey. Like, how did you get to this place where you're doing the work that you're doing?
I'll go very briefly back to where it all started. As a very tiny baby, so just before my first birthday, I was scalded by a boiling milk coffee that went all over my face, neck, and the jumper I was wearing stuck to my skin.
Oh my God.
Which meant that I was hospitalized for 3 months. Now, this was at a time, bearing in mind that I will be 58 in a couple of months' time, this was at a time when parents weren't allowed to stay with their children in hospital. The rules of the hospital at the time were every other day for an hour. Reality, because of distance, mum didn't drive, they only had one car, all that sort of type of stuff. We're talking nearly 57 years ago. The reality was my parents got to see me once a week for an hour.
Wow.
And obviously what's happened since that time is they've realized just what emotional damage that causes to children, which is why obviously parents are now encouraged to be with their children and not leave them dumped in a hospital. Because of the injuries, because I wouldn't actually leave my neck alone, they actually did what they call crucify. So they didn't obviously stick nails in my hands, but they pinned my hands back so that I couldn't scratch the wounds. So I had that whole situation where I had 3 months in hospital, saw my parents once a week for an hour, and I just felt unwanted, unloved, not good enough, and all that goes with it. I'm not going to swear, but all that rubbish that goes with that. And I am going to use the word rubbish because the truth of the matter is you cannot explain to a tiny child, Mum and Dad wanted to be with me. They didn't want to leave me in the hospital. But it didn't stop at that. When I came out of hospital, they'd moved, so I didn't even go home to familiar surroundings. My mother was heavily pregnant with my sister Gillian, who was born on the 1st of August and died 9 weeks later.
Wow.
So that was just like rejection after rejection after rejection. They were the 3 major things. There were other little things that occurred over the following years that just left me feeling totally not good enough, totally unloved, unwanted. That wasn't the truth of the situation, but that little girl didn't understand that. One of the things, actually, everybody tends to call me Sarah now, or Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane is deliberate. Actually, when I was very young, I was Jane. I may have been christened Sarah Jane, but I was Jane as a very young child. And I changed it. When I moved from my first school to my second school, so we'd moved town, nobody knew me, and I went to the new school and I told everyone I was called Sarah. And this is all part of when I was going through my own healing journey. What I was saying, I realized was the only person who'd ever truly rejected me was me when I changed my name. And so with the work that I now do, and it was just such a light bulb moment. And connecting then with my younger self, which is, so I had nearly 40 years of that total insecurity, wanting to spend what could I do to make people like me? How do I make people, how do I make people happy? I had no idea who I was. When people said, I know who I am and I like who I am, and I was thinking, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And
so I'm gonna just stop you right now because I have to say, I don't know if everybody else is. Oh, there's some feedback. Something changed with our audio. I'm suddenly hearing me. Anyway, hopefully that's not gonna be too distracting. Oh, it just stopped. Anyway, I'm just my whole body is just like I'm feeling such with your story. I had no idea. I didn't know this. And I, each and every one of us has a story, right? We all have these things that impact us as young children. And again, like you said, you didn't understand this. Your parents could have wanted to be with you. Your parents, could have, loved you and wanted to do whatever they could. And yet their hands were tied. But in a small little body, a little child, we don't have those tools or understanding or the capacity to go in our brain and go, oh, well, these are the rules. And so I'm just like, whoa, Sarah Jane, like this, I'm like really feeling that, oh my goodness, the beginning of your training of understanding the challenge and the pain and the loss, and as you say, the rejection as a young child, how internally you had to experience that, and how that has brought you to where you are now. Just that massive beginning. I can only imagine how that has opened you up to the healing work you do, that the depth of your experience. And anyway, I needed to comment. And I also wanted to say hello, Valerie and Michelle, and there's other people chiming in. Feel free to say hello and ask questions. And anyway, Sarah, so Sarah or Sarah Jane, what should I call you?
Just call me Sarah, that's fine.
All right. Well, Sarah, I didn't want to interrupt you, and yet I really needed to just, I mean, wow, because I know who you are now, and I know like the depth of your heart, and it's such a testament to your journey to this point of where you were and what you do now. So continue on, but wow, I really just, whew.
Thank you. And I think everybody goes through stuff. They really do. And nobody, I talked about the major things that happened, but as I said, there were little things that occurred as well. I had a nickname as a child, and the nickname was Pickle Puss.
Pickle Puss?
Pickle Puss. But think about, I don't know whether it's the same in America, but here in the UK, the word pickle, picklish, it's nothing to do with pickling onions or pickling vegetables, fruit. It can mean slightly naughty. And so with that, but think about it as a child, you're testing the boundaries. And a thing that would be said to a child was, that's picklish. You are being a pickle. But the first time you do those things, the adults laugh. And they can't help but laugh because they do find it amusing. But from the perspective that my nickname was Pickle Puss, and as I guess probably got called Pickle for shortening, when people turned around when I was doing these things and said, oh, you are being a pickle. Oh, that is picklish. But they're smiling, they're laughing. And you're thinking, oh, that's good, I'm being myself. Then that changes, because actually they don't want you doing that. And the tone of voice and the expression on their face changes. That's picklish. Don't be such a pickle.
Yep.
Suddenly, I felt I was being told not to be myself.
Yep.
And that adults just don't realize just how confusing this is to children.
Yep.
And at what age do we suddenly realize that there are things outside of our control, that people don't mean things in the way that we're taking them? For some, you may be your late teens. For others, you can be in your 20s or even 30s before you wake up, if you like, to there are things that are outside my control. So I help people to look at their life and say, I'm not condoning anything that happens to people, but look at your life. Could there be something going on with those people, your parents? Was there something else going on at the time? They may not have meant it the way you've taken it. Listen when people talk to you. What are you hearing? And if somebody says something and you think, oh, it's not a matter of did you mean what you said, it's did you mean what I heard?
Yeah, that's really great distinctions, and those are great questions. And if we're lucky in our lifetime, we do ask those questions to ourselves. Did they mean what they said? Am I perceiving what they're meaning? Because again, it's what they're saying, then the programming inside of us, how we're reacting and what we think the message is. And one of the things you said also was, are they meaning to say the way, what they said and having the impact, like don't be picklish? My guess is they probably did mean it, but they didn't know any better because they probably were judged for being that too. Or they got the programming that says you can't be picklish. So young lady, you better stop being picklish. And they maybe have not actually asked themselves, well, why am I trying to squash your personality and your spiciness? And so it is a waking up. And if we're blessed enough to ask those questions and to go in to go in so we can understand the outside and what is really going on. Then we can start to shift it by really knowing who we are. So yes, absolutely. And I know you have such great tools. Like I do my shadow work, and how do we get back those parts? How do we heal that inner child, and how do we discern what voice is mine and what voice is other people's, and how do we shift that? And I know that you have a lot of tools, so I would love for you to start kind of leading us into how you help people discern that and heal that inner child. I know voice is a big deal. That's what we were talking about. A lot of people are chiming in here. Madaleef, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Dave, and Michelle, and of course people asking, how does sound heal? So here you are, knowing that you got these messages, helping people with their inner child, because my goodness, you had this journey of lots of messages that made you feel like you couldn't be you. So maybe bring us closer to the now of how you help people with these skills that you have with your journey.
My wake-up call came with a broken jaw. It got broken by a dentist extracting a wisdom tooth. But that was my wake-up call. It did result in the end of my marriage. It did result in me moving. It resulted in a huge change in my life.
Wow.
And I think that's what we've got to realize. Sometimes our wake-up call can come in pain and trauma as well. We don't get them the rest of the time. But slowly I found Reiki. And I was looking for, what can I do to help me? I wasn't looking for anybody to do anything for me. What can I do for myself? And I think this is a very big thing. So many people look for what can other people do for me, rather than what can I do for myself. And when I got introduced to Reiki, the first person you treat when you learn is yourself. Yes. So I learned Reiki. My own Reiki master introduced me to sound.
You know what, I'm going to stop you there for a second, because I would assume some people don't know what Reiki is. So maybe you can just give us a brief synopsis of what this type of work is, and then how it led to the sound Reiki.
Reiki is, it's energy. Universal energy. Reiki, universal energy. Don't ask me how it feels. Folks, I am one of these people. I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I just have a trust and a knowing and a sense of things that are right for me. But Reiki is, Valerie said I'm a Reiki devil too. And I'm a master teacher now. But when I learned Reiki, it was just for me. And you open the channel and the individual helps themselves. To me, a practitioner, and the way I was taught, a practitioner is not somebody who gives Reiki. The practitioner is somebody who offers it.
Yep.
For the individual to help themselves. So to me, energy is not about giving, it is about opening for the individual to help themselves. When I work with the sound energy, which when we first talked about this program, it was called Sound Reiki. It has actually been changed to Vocal Reiki, because what I use is very much the voice. That is, we've got several Reiki people, Reiki masters, Reiki 2s, Reiki 1s. So it's brilliant. People who understand Reiki, that's excellent. So I did my Reiki. I'd only planned on doing it for myself, then went to level 2 and knew I was going to teach. And Reiki is where I started. I learned metamorphic technique, Indian head massage, Thai foot massage. I did quantum touch, done ear candling. So I took it. I thought, no, I'm going to have a spread. But Elaine, who's my Reiki master, she introduced me to the sound. One of the sounds she introduced me to was toning. So the use of the voice. I fell in love with it. But it was, how did I use it within my work? And with Reiki, that wasn't so easy at the time. But then I learned quantum touch, and I was told I could use sound with quantum touch, and it was great. I can use the toning. I'm not sure I ever did quantum touch. I'm sure it was always the toning. So I think because people have said, I saw a little comment saying about, but how can sound help? Can I explain how sound energy works? And it is so simple.
Yep. You know, absolutely. I mean, that's why we're here, not only to get to know you, but like to really understand the power of sound, the power of toning, and to just go back for a second about you not necessarily feeling it. For people like me, I'm always like, you know, I'll go for a session and I'm like, nothing's happening. You know, it's like, okay, I just lied on a table and nothing's happening, and you know, that's my judgment of it. I'm not feeling anything, and then my judgment of, well, like, is this really doing anything? You know, that's just how my brain is working. And so I would love for you to touch on that as well, for those like me that go, oh, I'm not one of those people that feels the energy flowing and the heat sensations and the things lifting. Before we go into what that is, can you talk to the people like me that are just like, huh? Like really? I don't get it. Like, what's really happening? And then maybe segue into the what is this toning?
I don't feel or see or hear anything with the Reiki either.
Mm-hmm.
I occasionally I may pick up something with a stranger, which is lovely because I don't know anything about them. And so when I pick something up, that's amazing because I could never have known it.
Mm.
But that's intuition. It's listening to a higher self. Any communicate. I don't know what it is. It's just a knowing.
Yep.
And but I don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the joy when you're at masters to me is I can stay at the head for the whole session. I haven't got to move down the body because I don't give Reiki. I
You offer it, you share it.
What I really love is when my clients go to sleep. Just relax, unwind. It
Mm.
doesn't matter if you feel anything, see anything, it doesn't matter. Because actually when you get your head out of the way by going to sleep, to me, you're saying to your body, just help yourself, do what you need,
Yep.
where I need it the most.
Yep. Yeah. And I just want to say that that's exactly where I came to at one point, where it's like, let me just allow it to be what it is, which once I quieted my mind and got out of my way, I was able to connect to a higher consciousness, a bigger consciousness, the energy field, whatever you want to call it. It was just suddenly I am one with whatever is happening and allowing the flow to happen. And, you know, tapping into trust, trusting that there's something bigger than myself that is happening here.
Absolutely. So if you don't feel anything, it may be that you're not meant to.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that for whatever reason, it's just not the right practitioner for you.
Yep. Yep. So tell us about toning.
Toning.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you want
That's
to finish what you're saying? Okay.
Sound and vibration. Sound is a vibration. We are a vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Our aches, pains, illnesses, ailments, stresses, strains are our vibration out of sync. That's all it is. The vibration of the right sound can literally pull your vibration back into sync. And somebody put it really beautifully. I did a session on somebody and they'd had problems with a muscle in their arm. And she said to me afterwards, my muscle felt as if it was being given permission to relax. So it did. And I thought, gee, that's lovely. That's beautiful. But I've also had somebody, and there were no comments. And comments weren't, well, they were needed, but they weren't. I was at an event one time, and this guy had been involved in a road accident earlier that week. Everything in his body had just been jarred. So nothing was quite in place. There was nothing anybody could do for him. And I encouraged him to sit down, and I lit the touch. I don't even work hands on anymore, but the touch was literally just so gentle. It was like a feather touch. I put my hands on his back. There was absolutely no manipulation whatsoever. From there, I couldn't manipulate anything. I toned to his back, and suddenly everything moved and everything went back into place.
Is that when you described that you actually felt bones moving? Because that was one of your descriptions.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely everything. And it was just, and
Wow.
he stood up afterwards, and he said, and he came back later, and he said, I feel better than I did before the accident.
Wow.
And he was walking around feeling so much more comfortable than he had before. But he'd been very skeptical about even sitting down.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's just so powerful and beautiful.
yeah.
And it, a testament to how powerful this work is. One of the things you said is you hardly touch people anymore in physical space. So most of the work you do is virtual. And how do you do that?
Well, can we do a brief demonstration for folks?
Please. Please twist my arm. No, yes, please.
Folks, if you really would like to experience this, can I first ask you to sort of relax? I actually work eyes closed because it means that I'm not distracted by anything that's going on either. May I suggest that you actually close your eyes, feet on the floor, and I am going to ask you to ground yourself. Let your roots from your feet go down into Mother Earth, deep into Mother Earth, anchoring into Mother Earth. And whether you feel it or not, Mother Earth is sending up her love and her protection through your roots, into your feet, up into your legs, your whole body, totally surrounding and protecting you. This isn't about what you hear, it is about feeling the energy of the toning I'm about to do. So just relax and feel. Okay, when you're ready to open your eyes, and if anybody would like to share their experience, what I do ask when I do the taster like that, just so people can experience it, is that there's a low tone, because when I work it can be way higher, that the range is amazing because it is actually all channeled. How did that feel?
I have so many questions for you. Well, that's my job too, right? I felt my heart just like kind of expand, and I felt a dropping of energy, which is great because I do run a lot up here. So there was just a, and what was interesting, my first thought, there's the thinking, but the first thought when you started toning was the wolves, because I suddenly felt like I was out in a field with wolves howling. And then I was like, okay, drop in, feel, 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 feel. So even when you started speaking again, and even me right now, there's this sense of more grounded, more calm, more centered. And that was just 20 20, 30 seconds of it. So that's how I feel. I'm just curious if anything else, anybody else said anything? Not just yet about that. So that's what I experienced. And so just a quick question. When you work with people, how long is a session? And do you have an intention? Do you set an intention? Do they set an intention? Or is it just what, as you said, channeled, whatever comes through you, do you just allow it to be what it is and trust that that's what's meant to be? So,
okay,
go. Just a few things to think about.
A session is an hour. And I do a consultation for the beginning of the session, because sometimes people will be looking for the physical, the muscular, the skeletal, maybe even to do with organs, whatever, depending on whatever's going on in their life. If people are sort of really looking for that depth, the inner child work, it can all go in there. The session is an hour, and it isn't a session of solid toning. It really isn't. It really is, if somebody says, okay, I've got shoulder issues, we will start on the shoulders, but it will be, what are you feeling? Are there any memories coming up? But it's all literally dictated by the client. And if you like, the intention is just for the highest good of the individual. And I stay out of the way. I say I stay out of the way, but obviously when we start going in and delving into the traumas of the past to connect with the inner child, and that's where name comes in. Working with the individual's name. I talked about the change of name. Working with an individual's name is the most powerful thing that you can do. And I know we're going to sort of talk about, but I have done, I think it was a 1 hour workshop, which is recorded. It's on YouTube, Sound Energy and Your Name. So if people want to go and watch that, and the link to that is on the page we're going to give them shortly anyway. Please go and do that. If you want to experience sound baths for various things, there's 4 free ones you can go and watch on YouTube. Nice. They're all posted up there. Go experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
For chakras, bits and pieces. Go do that. But an hour session is what is required for the individual, and it is guided by the individual, what they are feeling. So, and I just listen to, if you like, my intuition. Occasionally I'll find myself saying things and I'm thinking, where the heck did that come from? That's why it's vocal Reiki. Because yes, the toning very much comes in. The other thing is that, yes, there is talking. So it is very vocal, but obviously I'm talking slightly louder than I would because we're doing this by the television. But in a session, it's very gentle, very calm. The whole idea is it does not intrude to the feelings that are coming up within people.
That's
and I see we've had loads and loads of
I want to definitely talk about the comments, and what I'm also hearing is you're a vehicle. You're a vehicle, and things are flowing through you, and sometimes things come out that you're like, whoa, where did that come from? And I know that happens with my work too. And before I work on someone with somebody in shadow work, it's like my prayer is step out of the way to let things flow through. So yeah, with just the shortest thing, the tiniest taste that you gave us, we have Dave that said, boy, did my body quake and quiver. Woo! Rock on, Dave. Michelle, I had foot surgery a week ago, and during the toning, felt a tingling in the toe that was operated on. I mean, oh my goodness. And then Valerie, I actually have 2 back fusions, and this sound has activated the left side of my body, almost paralyzing it. Wow. So, well, paralyzing it. So I'm curious, Valerie, what does that mean? And then I think yep. That was those are things that were listed. So do you know what she means by that, by any chance, Sarah?
No, I don't actually, and I think that suggests that actually, Valerie, more is required. Sorry about that. I do apologize, but what you got to realize is, you said you kept feeling it, and this is just it. With this energy, I work with Gaia Mother Earth, which is why I get people to put their roots down. Archangel Uriel, the angel of peace and wisdom, Saint Germain of the violet flame. And when I'm working with inner child, Mother Mary comes in as well. So I know I have got some amazing guides working with me with this. Valerie, the left side of my body almost paralyzing it. Maybe there's a stillness that's required. I hope that will shift, and please. Oh, you could not move for a time, but I'm assuming that means you can move now. It could be that just something needed to be still for a while. But I'm pleased I hope that does mean you are moving again.
Because of what we just talked about and how some of these people have had experiences, I think this might be a really great time to share with them what you're offering to them, because they could actually work with you. Sarah Jane has a gift to offer you, and then we can come back and talk some more. So I'm going to post the special that she has, and why don't you tell them what you'd love to give to them, and hopefully we'll show up. That it's getting there, technical difficulties, but yes, it's there. Yay. So yeah, why don't you tell them about the one-to-one sound Reiki session that you'd like to offer to people?
Yeah, I'm very happy to do one-on-one. And folks, you haven't got to live close to me. The joy with the fact that I don't have to work hands-on anymore is the fact I could do these via the internet. In fact, I've worked with a lady in Australia, I'm in the UK. So distance has nothing to do with it. You felt the sound. And as I said, it's not. So do you know what? Even if there's a distortion because of internet issues, it's not about what you hear. It's about what you feel. I've had a mic pack up on me, and the individuals have still felt it. That's how powerful this is. It's not about the hearing. A session with me, it's an hour session, and I do allow the extra time with no extra charge to do the consultation form. So the consultation form isn't included in the hour. So it could end up by being about an hour and a quarter. Normally £75. A special for your guests. So if they want to email me, please put Life Out Loud Junie Moon. Life Out Loud Junie, £60 for the one-off session. And folks, it's you that guides it.
And you have with the for the first 10 people from this program, I just want to make sure that they know it's for the first 10 people, because this, it's a lot of time and a lot of energy for this gift of the £60. And so, don't wait. If it's something that this is something you want to experience, take advantage of this amazing possibility for you.
And do email me. And I know we haven't put the email address, we've got a website address, but if you want to look at it, then obviously Junie's putting up, although I can't see it, but hopefully everybody else can. Yes. But do email me at Sara, there's no H on the Sara, Sara soundspirit@gmail.com. Do email me there.
Spirit. I'm putting it in right now.
Please do bear in mind, I am in the UK, so if for any reason you don't get an answer immediately, it's probably because there's a time difference. your daytime's my evening, so I will come back to you, I promise. So it's sarasoundspirit@gmail.com. Do by all means email me for that. The other one I've got up there is I'm doing I'm doing a couple of sound shares, one on Thursday the 18th, the other on Sunday the 21st. Timing which I've tried to make so that people in the States can make possibly. That's why I've done the one on the Sunday as well. The sound share is a 2-hour, and it's a join in. So be prepared to join in, because everybody receives with this, and everybody gives, for want of a better word, as well. And that's normally £25. So if you want to join in for one of those, it's £20. Again, email me with and put Life Out Loud or Junie Moon or both.
Great.
And I'll happily do that.
Great, Sara. So we still have a little bit of time. One of the things I'm curious about is how you are in your life holding the space for people. I mean, I hear that you're a vehicle. I hear that you're working with guides and you're channeling. What is your self-care, and what might be your bumps in this place of healer to all these people?
maybe because I am blessed not to feel, hear, see, etc., I can be detached enough within the love that I share to not get in the way for others, and therefore not take on board others' issues. If I feel I need a Reiki session, I'll give myself a Reiki session. I mentioned about name, how important that was. And it has been one of the most powerful tools I've been able to use for myself. So I would please say to people, if you're interested, watch that program that I did. It's on YouTube.
Great.
Because I tone my own name. I do it for myself. And this is the joy with this. You can do it for yourself. You trap a finger in a door, ouch, hit your funny bone. You can I've got an old spiral fire escape that takes me from my room upstairs downstairs it's a metal one. I have fallen down that. I have had bruises bigger than my hands. So I, having got to the bottom of the stairs, sat on the floor, and I've just toned. I've opened the Reiki channel, I've toned. I didn't hit my head, I didn't do it, but I still had the bruises, but they came out very quickly and they went very quickly. And I just got on with life. I'm very good at spraining ankles. and I use the sound and I use the Reiki for that. The gifts I have that I share with others, what's the point of having them and not using them on yourself?
Exactly. I mean, that's why you're on my show. Aside from the fact that you're a healer, you're gifted, you have all these amazing things that you offer, you walk your talk. I mean, this is something that you embody that's important to you, that works, and you're not just, oh, do this, but you're living it. So I really honor you for that. Okay, we have a few minutes, and I got to know about the wolves. I've got to know about the wolves. And what did you learn from working with wolves that you bring into your work or bring into your life?
That was going back to 2001 that I got the opportunity, and it was just for a year. And I was, as I said, a trainee handler with the wolves at the UK Wolf Conservation Trust. Oh, they are the most amazing animals to get up close and personal with. They really are. It was just such an honor and a pleasure to do it. And most of the wolves, actually, in fact, all of the ones I originally worked with are no longer in the physical. But I know I've got at least 3 of them that are with me. And I think actually the biggest gift they gave me was when I realized I was connected with many friends in the mythical realm, and they are all friends, and that includes the vampire and the werewolf. And I had an experience with the werewolf. I was watching a film with a guy that I used to take to the cinema who had learning difficulties, and he always wanted to watch films I would never go and watch. And it was a particular film that included werewolves. And there was this scene came out, and I knew what was going to happen. And I closed my eyes, and it was just like, I don't even want to watch this. I could have written it, not that I would, but I knew what was going to happen. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call on the werewolf. And the sense of peace and calm that descended. And that was the beginning of the original message that was given to me. And that's when I realized I'd got the wolves with me. But it led me to, don't fear things. Just don't fear things, because there's nothing to fear.
Beautiful. Yeah, that what I'm gonna like stop us on that note, that there's nothing to fear. I mean, how do we feel when we're in fear? Constricted, blocked. Just the wall is up energetically. And then when we can, and I talk to people a lot about fear, it's not really about getting rid of fear or pushing it away, but how do we dance with it so it doesn't stop us and it opens us up to what I believe is the truth of love and flow, because fear stops us. And if we can, by pushing it and fighting it, that causes more resistance. But to be able to go, okay, there's fear, allowing it to move through us, how do we invite it in so that we can then move forward and let the flow of what I believe is divine source energy inside of us? To me, that's the gift. And using these energies and everything you just said, just beautiful, Sarah, beautiful. So I'm noticing we're at time. My goodness. First of all, I just want to thank you again. Thank you so much, for being here, and the offer is still up, and just great that you were here, and thank you for all your shares, and thanks so much for being here, and for all our guests that were here live and those that are watching the recording. We are, thank you, Sarah, for giving us all that you did. Thank you for spending the time with us, guys, offering your questions and your shares and your chats. You know where to find Sara Jane. And for me, if you're interested in the shadow work, innercritictamer.com. You can go there and get my ebook. We've got a lot of other shows coming up that are just friggin' awesome. And for now, I'm just gonna focus on Sara Jane. And again, thank you so much for being here today, Sara, and all your beauty and wisdom.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lovely to meet you all, folks. Valerie, the exchange rate, I believe, if you roughly take it at $1.50, it fluctuates, but something around there. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much indeed. Love, peace, and light to you. Namaste.
Namaste. Love, peace, and light to you and everybody else that's here. Blessings to you all, and have a great day.